All right, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites. We come in, week out, to prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom known as America, in Babylon in the scriptures, in Sodom and Egypt. So before we get started, we would like to give all praises to the Heavenly Father in the only begotten Son in their proper names, in the Holy Spirit of truth, called
Allah, La, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Ha, Wakah, Kadash, Muhammad.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Our elder of this camp as well. Salutations to the Akim out there around the four corners of the earth, preaching this truth and sincerity, and also the few Aquavim and children that believe in spirit and in truth as well. Today we have a topic on the Gentiles, man. You know, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ratazah, which means his willingness, lest it be edifying and serve a purpose for the hopeful elect out there.
All right. Yep. Hey, man, we're going to start it off. Let's get Romans 3 and 3, though. Start with that. Yeah. Let's start off with Romans 3 and 3, then we'll go right into that. All right. Because you got a lot of people out there, we've seen the apostles going into lessons dealing with the Gentile topic, man. Every year it goes around, same cycle, man. All right. And it's that season for the Gentile topic. All right. You know, they say that the word Gentile, you know, basically saying that the Gentiles in the New Testament weren't Israelites. That's what they try to say. But we're going to prove otherwise, as it's always been proven before. And also they say that all Israel only supposed to look like Shaft. All right, dark skin, basically, man. But that's a light topic. But we're going to focus on the term Gentile today, man. All right, do some edification. Go ahead, brother.
All right, it's the book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 3.
Right.
For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua without effect?
Right, because a lot of these idiots out there, they don't want the Native Americans to be the Gadites. You see that? They don't want Israel to be looking like other colors, other nations. You know, they don't understand that we were a scattered people. You see that? They just want it for their little hood, for black people. They don't want it for the northern, the Latino tribes, man. All these people here, man. They don't want salvation for these people that's been going through all the hell we go through. Look at the Haitians. Look what they're going through right now. Look at the Colombians. All right, look at the Mexicans, the Cubans. All right, the Puerto Ricans. They all going through the same hell under Esau, man. All right, go ahead, brother. So what if some did not believe? Shall that make the faith of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua without effect? The Lord's still going to be loyal to his elect. The Lord's still going to get his scattered sheep, man, regardless of what these damn boneheads think. Go ahead, brother.
God forbid, yeah, let God be true, but every man a liar.
That's right, man. So, yeah, let Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua be true, but every man a liar. Why? Because man follow their own heart. Man follow the ways of this world and the wisdom of this world. But us, we follow Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua and his word. You see that? Let his word be true. All right? A little bit more on that.
As it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings and mightest overcome when thou art judged.
There you go, man. So they're not going to overcome. And a lot of them don't even believe in Yahushua. They just be rambling. All right? So they're not justified in their sayings. Right, so they go against the truth. You're basically going against everything that Yahushua stood for. What did he say? He said, what? I have sheep that are not of this fold. Somebody get that? And then we're going to go to Isaiah 11. Go ahead, brother, make your point.
Just like the brother was speaking on, man. Like scripture says, hey, with the mouth, confession is made into salvation. So what you get out here and spew out, hey, that's what you're going to be justified by. But not just anything that spew out your mouth, man, by the truth and knowledge and wisdom of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, these scriptures, man.
Right. You get that? Somebody got that? What did I ask for?
So I have sheep that are not of this fold.
Yeah, that are not of this fold.
John 10 and 16.
Yeah. Come on, bro. Yeah, phone. It's on. Yeah, John 10 and 16, right?
Yeah.
John. Right.
Chapter 10 and verse 16.
Book of grace.
And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd.
Right, man, because the Lord said that. And what was his sheep? His sheep were the ones, right? His sheep were the ones that were waiting for him, man. So, or what you would call the church. When the Lord came and woke up the church, the foundation with Peter. He had to set up for the other sheep that were called Gentiles. And he did that through who? Through Paul. Paul said, what? Me being a prophet of the Gentiles, I magnify my office. All right. So the Lord knew about us in these times that we had to get the word as well. All right. We were Gentiles born here in America. So if the Lord didn't set up the word for the Gentiles, the Israelites scattered to be able to return, then we would still remain scattered. All right, and the Lord will destroy us. Yeah,
stammering lips first.
Yeah, you see that? Yep, the stammering lips one.
It's Isaiah chapter 28, verse 11. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to his people.
That's right, man. Stammering lips, man. With mocking lips. That's why you come out here and you rebuke people. You rebuke your people. All right. So what's that? Shake the hand. That's right, man. So he said with stammering lips and another tongue. Right. So the Lord is speaking to our people in English. Look at the Haitians over there at the border. You got ISUPK down there, even though they be going off, they're like an entry-level group. Camp, you know? They're the perfect ones to show up. And you know, they got the 501c3 charter. That's a whole other topic. So they can do things like that. Right?
And stuff like that.
Yeah, but they out there on the border teaching those Haitians in the patois, in the French. And then you're listening on the next clip, they're teaching them in English. All right? So that's what he said, with stammering lips and another tongue shall he speak to his people. All right. And that was going to happen throughout all the nations. So the Lord's spirit is the same, but the tongue of the people is complex and diverse. All right. That's why the Lord called us the speckled bird. Somebody get that? My heritage unto me is that the speckled bird. Go ahead, man.
This is
I want that topic I was on though.
the gates of the stammering lips.
Yeah, gates and nobles. Real quick. Gates and nobles.
This is Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 2. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt thy voice unto them. Shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles.
Right, he's talking about our people, man. And it's not going to be according to color. We're not Black Panthers. We don't deal with that color, scheme. we're not melanin prophets. we teach our people through the spirit. This is about the spirit, man. So the Lord said, what? We will be sort of a first fruit to him. Out of all his creations on the earth, now he created something new. A spiritual fruit. All right? Talk to church. Somebody got the other precept? Right, he said, what? Keep going.
Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 2. No, verse 3. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones of my anger, even them that rejoice in my highness.
Right, so the Lord called the sanctified ones. That's the prophets and the angels, right? The mighty ones. Nobody got it? Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Oh yeah,
I got you.
Yeah.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 12, verse 9. My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird.
That's right. Jesus Cristo no blanco. That's right.
The birds round about are against her.
El nombre es Yahushua.
Sí, ¿cómo está? Ahora,
Right,
¿sabes
man.
lo que estamos haciendo?
No, estoy viendo, por eso
Nosotros
que...
estamos dando una
Another
clase
time, we just talking about it.
hablando quién es el Hijo de Dios.
Ay,
El hombre que enseñan con el ojo azul y pelo largo, ese no es el hijo de él. Ese fue un engaño. ¿No?
bueno, yo soy cristiana.
Y los que están
Sí.
aquí son
Yo
los que
soy
serán
evangélica.
salvados según su trabajo.
¿De dónde
Estas
tú
son las
eres?
12 tribus de
¿Qué
Israel.
país?
Perú.
Perú.
Sí, yo soy evangélica,
Yeah, you
cristiana.
can take
Conozco la
Bien,
palabra.
¿qué?
just for a second, you got
Sí,
it.
pero esa doctrina
Yeah, can you get y'all
fueron
some? Just in case.
puestas por los colonizadores.
Yeah,
En
catch this real
realidad,
quick.
esas doctrinas
Oh,
son
yeah.
totalmente falsas. ¿Me entiendes?
Pero
Porque
está
ellos,
escrito en la Biblia.
no, está escrito en la Biblia. En la Biblia lo que está escrito
Qué
es
linda.
esta doctrina es
Sí.
la de Dios, porque fue entregada a los 144 hebreos de las 12 tribus de Israel.
Claro, claro.
¿Me
De
entiendes?
ahí nosotros estudiamos la Biblia. La Biblia del
Exacto.
Antiguo Testamento y el Nuevo Testamento.
Correcto,
Claro, esa es
correcto,
la que
sí.
nosotros leemos.
Sí, no vas
Es
no
una
vas al
sola,
hijo,
la
sino
Biblia
vas
es
al
una
padre.
sola. Claro.
Correcto,
No, nosotros vamos al Padre a través de su Hijo.
correcto,
A través
correcto.
de nuestro Señor Jesucristo, vamos al Padre, porque la palabra dice, nadie viene a mí si no es a través de mi Hijo, nuestro Señor Jesucristo.
Sí,
Sí, pero el Señor
pero
Jesucristo no es su nombre.
Ajá.
El verdadero nombre
es hebreo.
no es ese, su nombre es hebreo, Empelio hebreo.
Ah, en serio.
Empelio hebreo, correcto. Y su nombre es Yahweh Shai, que
Claro.
significa yo los enviaré. El problema es que fueron lavados, nuestros cerebros fueron lavados por los colonizadores, los que nos adoctrinaron, lo que colonización significa quitarnos de nuestra privacidad, ¿me entiendes? Y eso fue lo que hicieron los europeos, los llamados de las cuevas, los llamados edomitas, ¿me entiendes? Que es en realidad la supremacía blanca.
Pero ustedes creen en el Señor Jesucristo, ¿no?
Sí, nosotros creemos en Jesucristo, pero no lo llamamos así. No lo llamamos así,
Ay, ya.
¿entiendes?
Bueno, nosotros, ¿cómo lo llaman?
Yahweh
Ellos lo
Shai,
tienen de otra manera.
es el nombre en hebreo,
Estamos llamando en el
Ustedes lo
nombre
llaman en el nombre de hebreo, lo llaman ustedes.
correcto,
Claro,
correcto,
en el
porque
nombre
ese
de
nombre
hebreo.
en realidad Jesús significa Jesús, que es en realidad
Y en hebreo, ¿cómo se dice Jesús?
en griego es como ahí lo dice, ahí está.
Como lo dice ahora,
En hebreo es Yahweh Shai,
Ah, ya,
y ese es
se dice
Pelio
Jesucristo.
hebreo, correcto.
Y
Y en realidad
se dice Casaguay,
es
Jesucristo.
Yahweh Shai,
Ah,
Yahweh Shai, correcto. Y aparte de eso, beside that, el color of the Most High, el color del Altísimo no es blanco, no es el
Nadie
que
lo hemos visto, Señor. No sabemos.
no, pero es que en Revelación se lo dice. En the Book of Revelation they talk about the color of the Most High.
¿En cuál parte? En Revelación.
En Revelación 1:13.
1:13.
Sí, Apocalipsis empieza en 1:13 hasta el 16.
Sí, eran blancos.
Y esta es la Biblia que ustedes la hay en español, pero es Reina Valera con el King James Bible.
Esa es la que
Correcto, pero es
la
la
Reina
misma,
Valera.
es la misma. Lo que pasa es que King James
Claro, ese es en hebreo.
en inglés, este es en inglés, pero es en inglés rebuscado, porque recuerda que fueron del griego fue al hebreo y del hebreo fue al
inglés.
del griego fue al inglés, correcto. Hebreo, griego, griego, inglés. You have to say the name. Tiene que decir el nombre, hermana.
En este momento necesitamos mucha oración porque el pueblo está gemiendo de dolor y de
In this moment we
angustia.
need, in this moment we need the bless of Yahweh Shai, because we have to be united. That's what
Porque la ¿cómo se llama? La maldad está creciendo, mucha maldad. Entonces tenemos que doblar, tenemos que doblar rodillas para que el Señor tenga misericordia del mundo.
Eso que estamos haciendo aquí.
Sí, yo sé.
¿Lo ven? Sí, llamando para que vengan para atrás.
Una foto me puede tomar.
Sí, coge, yo want to take a picture with you guys. Ve ahí, mira en el medio con el. Oh,
¿Acá?
sí, sí. No, que haga la foto con el teléfono de él, porque esto está grabando.
Okay.
Bueno, muchas gracias,
Dios
¿no?
los bendiga.
Gracias. Dice God bless you.
Eso viene pronto.
Eso viene pronto. Sí.
Y la Biblia no la va a tener nadie, va a ser, lo van a agarrar a uno y todo eso. Yo sé que la iglesia católica,
Ajá. Ok, está bien.
pero bueno, yo sé que palabra de Dios también.
Sí, sí.
Comparto con todo el mundo que se necesita trabajar, ¿no?
Bueno, recuerda que Dios ama más que 12 tribus, no el mundo entero. Lo dice en la escritura. Esa es la parte que la gente se olvidaron. ¿Ok? Bueno, que la pase bien. Adiós.
Adiós, adiós,
Adiós, mi amor.
adiós, mi amor.
Oiga.
Mi amor. Look at that precept real quick.
Ya va.
Yeah, other sheep that are not of this fold.
Aquí, right here. She wants to do a donation.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, thank you. We'll give it to somebody for that. Thank you. Bless you.
Las iglesias siempre necesitan ayuda.
Gracias.
She say,
Necesitamos
church
ayuda.
and we need help.
Como lo puso en el corazón el Señor, ayudante para esto,
Gracias.
necesitamos dinero para esto, va a ir mucho para moverse, para
Gracias.
todo. Tú sabes, bueno, aquí no tiene todo, pero nosotros necesitamos
Sí,
ayuda.
muchas gracias.
Ok.
Thank you.
Gracias.
We'll take it just, thank you. They don't usually take, time, but all right,
Wow.
corrupt the message, man, of the word. But yeah, let's get it. It's all good.
This is John chapter 10, verse 16.
Yeah.
And another sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd.
There you go, man. So the Lord is bringing us all back together. All right? And that's what this is about. We just saw it. That was a perfect, beautiful example, man. The Lord has other sheep that are not of that specific fold that he went to in Jerusalem.
Wow.
You see that? It's not just about Judah. All right? Israel. It's about Israel. Yes, let's get this real quick and then we'll get it.
It's book of Jeremiah, chapter 12, verse 9. My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour.
Right, man. So all the birds, all these nations around about are against the children of Israel. All right, and that goes with in the book of Psalms where they were confederate against them. Yeah, why not? Let's get it. Because it said what? His heritage is as a speckled bird, and his heritage represents the church also, man. All right, first, and then the rest of the nation of Israel. We're gonna be as a speckled bird, multicolored bird, man. Okay.
Psalms chapter 83, verse 1.
Right. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemy make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Right, and that really, and you can also go back to the time of Antiochus Epiphanes in 168 BC, or really 169, when he started Hellenizing our people. All right, but we're going to go back further than that to the Assyrian Empire during the times of Jeroboam and Rehoboam. All right, I think it was 931 BC, after King Solomon. Then you had, what's his name? Somebody get 1 Kings 11 and let's start 28. All right, this was a prophecy about the split that was going to happen. Right here. All right, this is a prophecy that happened when the nation of Israel split. All right, that's crazy. Isaiah 11 gonna go right with this. All right, and the nation of Israel split and were against each other, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. All right, you got it. 1 Kings 11 and 28.
It's 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 28.
Right, we're gonna go all the way to 32.
All right. And the man Jeroboam was a mighty man of valor, and Solomon, seeing the young man that he was industrious.
Right, because yeah, industrious, right? Yep, he was good for like their building up process. Right? But Jeroboam was a servant, general of Solomon. He wasn't his son. Rehoboam was his son. Go ahead, brother.
All right, it says he made him ruler over all the charge of the house of Joseph.
See that? So he made Jeroboam ruler over the northern kingdom. All right, the Latinos, mainly the Latino tribes. See that? Go ahead. And Rehoboam was over the southern kingdom, Judah and Benjamin. Go ahead, brother.
And it came to pass at the time when Jeroboam went out of Jerusalem that the prophet Ahijah, the Shilonite, found him in the way.
Right. So he was going to prophesy against him and tell him about the split that was about to happen. Go ahead.
And he had clad himself with a new garment.
See that? A new garment. Oh, go ahead.
And they were alone in the field. And Ahijah caught the new garment that was on him and rent it in 12 pieces.
See that? He ripped it in 12 pieces. All right, go ahead. He ripped it in 12 pieces before him. Just like this right here. All right? Go ahead, brother.
It says, and he said to Jeroboam, take thee 10 pieces, for thus saith the Lord.
What was that? He said he told Jeroboam to take what?
Take thee 10 pieces.
Right, because that was going to be the split. All right, the northern kingdom was going to go with Jeroboam, and the southern kingdom, Judah and Benjamin, was going to go with Rehoboam. All right, go ahead.
All right, it says, and he said to Jeroboam, take thee 10 pieces, for thus saith the Lord, power of Israel, behold, I will rent the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon, and will give thee 10 tribes to thee.
See that? See that? That was the split. All right. So he gave 10 tribes to Jeroboam. He gave 2 tribes to Rehoboam. All right. Just keep going, bro.
It says, but he shall have 1 tribe for my servant David's sake, for Jerusalem's sake, the city which I have chosen out of the tribes of Israel.
Right. There you go. That's Judah and Benjamin. All right. And that was still given to Solomon, which was the bloodline of Judah. All right. The top tribe was Judah, and the top tribe of the Latinos was Ephraim, the Puerto Rican. All right. That's right. Israelites, Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Israelites of the Bible. That's right.
Ustedes son las mujeres del Señor, de la Escritura.
That's right now. All right. So that was the split. Now where is Esau in that? You know, where is Esau in that? Esau had nothing to do with it. Where are the Africans? Where are the Arabs? All right, there was a split, a prophetic split that happened. Now let's see the outcome of that split. Go ahead, brother. Isaiah 11.
This is Isaiah chapter 11, verse 10.
All right, so this was when, after that split, they became Gentiles, man, in the land, in the captivity under the Assyrians. All right, go ahead.
It says, in that day, there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for as an enzyme of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek.
Right, so that root is talking about the foundation. And that's talking about what? It said, shall stand as an enzyme. The enzyme means a sign. All right, to the people, and to it, talking about Yahushua and his voice, shall the Gentiles, the nations, seek. What nations? Let's find out. This is how they're going to be brought back. All right, this is talking about what? The Goyim, which would be the nation. All right, is it talking about all nations? No. Go ahead, brother.
It says, verse 11, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the isles of the sea.
Right, because our people were scattered all around the 4 corners of the earth, man. So we're scattered. A lot of our people are acting like the other nations, looking like the other nations, but they have to be called back into this truth, man. Precept interjection. Go ahead, brother.
This is Acts chapter 2, verse 5. And there were dwelling in Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven.
Right, this happened on Pentecost. All right, go ahead, brother.
Verse 6.
They was all coming down to get baptized.
Now when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language.
Right, these were devout Jews. That's very important. That's like saying a just man, or devoted men to Yahweh Shai, to the faith. All right, or even to the laws. But they were what? He said from out of every nation. All right, so that's what it means. It just means what? Like Apostle Har said, the cultures. All right. So if we go and live in Africa, our people start picking up that African culture. And that's just it, man.
There's some more.
There's a lot on that. Yeah, let's get back to that.
All right. Verse 12. And he's Isaiah 11 and 12.
Right, because that's what that word Gentile means. In the Greek, it means ethnos, which means nations. In the Hebrew, it would be goyim, which means nations. All right, go ahead.
It says, and he shall stand up as an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the 4 corners of the earth.
There you go, man. So he's going to gather together the Israel. He said what?
It says
the dispersed.
It says, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
Right. So where is Esau in that? So when he's talking about Gentiles, talking about the nations, he's only talking about the Israelite nations, man. All right, because he's told you that he's going to set up an enzyme to the nations. But what nations? What are he talking about? Judah and basically Ephraim, man, which would be the northern kingdom. All right. Yeah, what's that Revelation where they talk about New Jerusalem?
7.
Yeah, he talking about the 12 gates.
Oh shit.
You got the 12 gates. Oh, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's Sirach, chapter 36, verse 11. Gather all the tribes of Jacob together and inherit thou them as from the beginning.
That's from the beginning, man. See that? All right. So we were separated and we became heathens amongst the nations. So now the Lord is gathering us back to him as before, man. As during the time of Moses. All right. When Yahushua led us through the wilderness, that's his name. A so-called Negro from the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, from the tribe of Judah. Hey, young boy.
Yo.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah, man.
The water.
Yeah. All right, let's get it, man. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
It's the book of Revelation 7 and 9. After this, I behold, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds, and people and tongues.
Right, all nations, and kindreds, and peoples, and tongues. So who is that talking about there? Right?
Stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands.
There you go. So he said of all nations, right? But go back to verse I think like 4.
4, 5, 4. Revelation 7 and 4.
Right. So he said out of all nations, go ahead, a small multitude.
And I hear the number.
Second Ezra chapter 13.
Come on. I got it.
That's good. Hey, brother.
Revelation 7 and 4. And I hear the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of the tribe of the children of Israel.
That's right, man. So, you know, they said a small multitude. Let's see who the small multitude is. All right. Somebody get that standing up on the sea. And also, go ahead, brother. 12 gates. Somebody got that 12 gates? Revelation. New Jerusalem, 12 gates. You got it?
Revelation chapter 7. In verse 4, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of children of Israel.
Where you at? 7? Okay, we just read that one. Check this out. No, that's good way to bring it back. There you go. This is a small multitude right here, man. 144 and the small multitude all together.
It's the book of Revelations, chapter 21, verse 12. And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates. And at the gates, 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
There you go, man. So, yo, he said what? Gather us together as before. You know what I mean? All right. And you know, so he said what? In the end, the only ones that have access to the entry into the kingdom is those 12 tribes of Israel. All right. So the Lord had a separation during the time of Ahijah, the prophet, and then the Lord bringing us back together. All right. Because right after Assyria, you had right here. Go get it.
Second Ezra.
Yeah, Second Ezra.
Second Ezra, chapter 13, starting at verse 40.
Not 40? Yeah.
All right, let me get that.
Yeah, I was.
Second Ezra, chapter 13, verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king.
Right, Hosea the king, right? Go ahead. That was around 722 BC.
Whom Salmanasar, the king of Assyria.
Salmanassar, the king of Assyria. All right, go ahead.
The king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so they came into another land.
See that? So that's what we're talking about. All right, the small multitude, the 10 tribes. All right, you got all the 12 tribes coming together to be delivered and go into the kingdom, man. All right, you keep going a little bit.
Verse 41. But they took this counsel amongst themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country.
Right, that further country is right here in America. All right, that's okay. Go ahead.
Where never mankind dwelt.
Right, and if you understand history, they didn't go straight into America after the Assyrian Empire, you know, because a lot of them returned to Jerusalem during the time of Cyrus the Great. So this happened when they came over to America around 300 AD, way later. All right, and they took the Black Sea to get over here. All right, and Ephraim, the one that led them over here. Okay, go ahead, brother. That was it on that, right? That'll be the point. So we're speaking about the multitude, man. You know, and how the Gentiles play into that. The Gentiles are Israelites. Let's get back to that topic now. Isaiah 11. Oh, yeah, we finished with it. Oh, somebody got that where it say 2 sticks. Take 2 sticks. Yeah, somebody got that where it say take Israel for the 2 sticks. Yeah. Precept, go ahead, brother.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 34, starting at verse 11. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I, even I, will both search out my sheep and will seek them out, as the shepherd seeketh out the flock in the days that he is among his sheep that are scattered. So I will seek out my sheep and will deliver them out of all the places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day.
That's right, man. All right. So the Lord said, well, he got sheep that are not of this fold. All right. He got sheep that are not of this fold, man. But he's going to gather us how? Through his spirit. From wherever we at. You can be in Africa, you can be in America, you can be in London, you can be in Italy. I got you. All right. So the Lord was gathering you according to language. None of us will make it. That we don't speak. We have to learn the Hebrew. All right. So the Lord is speaking all languages through his spirit. All right, which is before all things, man, going through more moving than any motion. But the car.
This is Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11.
All right, I got that.
This is, and it shall come to pass that in that day that the Lord Yahweh shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people,
No, I got any of that.
which
All right, my bad. I need this real quick. Go ahead, man.
All right, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37. I'm going to start at verse 16.
Right, so we're dealing with the split all the way back from 931 BC. All right, how the Lord's going to bring those nations back together, man. All right, go ahead, brother.
Moreover, thou son of man, take thee 1 stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions.
Yeah, and that word stick just means a plank or a board. Let's talk about this. All right, and bring them together. Go ahead.
Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim.
Right, Joseph represents all the northern tribes, basically, man. Okay, basically Ephraim.
And for all the house of Israel, his companions.
All right, so it's all about Israel. Don't write Esau on there. Don't write no other nations on there. It's all about the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We're God's chosen people. All right, go ahead, brother.
And join them together, and join them one to another into 1 stick.
Right. Well, earlier we prophesied about the Lord separating Israel and scattering us, like the brother read. But now he's talking about bringing us together. Go ahead.
And they shall become one in thy hand.
And this prophecy is true today. We're holding it as one in my hand today, in our hand. All right. That's it. That should be more on there, right? They should become one in thy hand. Yeah. All right. There was a little more on that. Yeah. Go ahead, Erica. And then right. That was it.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 24. It says, for wisdom is more moving than any emotion. She passeth and goeth through all things by the reason of her pureness.
Right, man. So wisdom, it goes through all things, even languages, even cultures, even the thick, damn calcified skull of our people. It can go through that as well. The Lord called them thick-headed. All right, hard-headed, man. All right, so now that's why the Lord set it up. He said, "What? With stammering lips and another tongue, we're gonna be speaking to our people, man." That He was gonna be speaking to His people. All right, through His voice, which is gonna be men scattered around the four corners of the earth.
This is Hosea chapter 1, verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea.
Right, that's a promise that He made to Abraham. See, He's fulfilling that promise to Abraham. That's what this is all about. Go ahead, brother.
Which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Right, so you can't measure Israel, and you shouldn't be measuring Israel like IUIC does. They got them registered. Every member got them registered with the Federation of the Fake Jews, the Jewish Federation. They got their damn account information and shit. Each member in their camp. He's numbering Israel, and the Lord said you're not supposed to do that. As soon as you number Israel, next thing you know, another child is being born. All right, or a person is dying. That's why He said we're going to be a 144. That's all you're supposed to number right there. In the small multitude. And none of us know who the 144 is. You can't just say, oh, this is it right here. Go ahead, brother.
It says, and it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power.
Right, and they're going to be said in different languages. All right? In these places, wherever around the world it was said that ye are not His people. Over in Africa, they're saying y'all are not the people of the Lord. Over in Saudi Arabia, over in the land of Israel, they even saying that. They kicking them out of the land. Ben Amin and them. They kicking them out. Them African, they call themselves African Jews. Like, oh my goodness, man. So they kicking them out, saying they're not the people of the Lord, man. Over here in America, they call us black, void, African. 3/5 of a human being. Jigaboo. Afro-American. Yeah. You know, go ahead, brother.
Hosea 1 and 11. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together and appoint themselves one head.
Right, man. So we're being gathered together and we're appointing ourselves one head through Yahweh Shai, also King David, right?
And they shall come up out of the land.
Right, Yahweh Shai is our head.
For great shall be the day of Jezreel.
That's right, man. So great shall be the day of Jezreel, man. That's a poetic way of saying Jerusalem. All right. Now, where we at? That's right, man. Great shall be that day. Now let's get back to the dealing with the Gentile topic. All right. So when did we become Gentiles now? We understand about Ahijah when we were separated as a nation. So the Lord promised to bring us all back together. But is He going to save all Israel? No. What's that? Though Israel, He says the sand of the sea. What's that in 2 Ezra? What's that, 8? Where it say, though Israel be at the sand, a remnant shall be saved? Yeah. All right, man. Go ahead, brother.
All right, this is the book of Romans, chapter 9. And I'm going to start at verse
27, cool. Because we're going to go back to that anyway.
Verse 27. Yep. Isaiah also cried concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved.
There you go, man. All right, so the Lord is keeping His promise to bring Israel all back together. But now that He's done that, now that He talked, how did He do that? All right, how is He going to bring all Israel back together? What is that? All Israel be saved? It's on that chapter, I think.
All Israel shall be saved.
Yep. And we're going to go back to it too, but it's just right now, real quick, just to make this point. Let me know you get it. All right, verse 26. 25.
All right, this is the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 25.
Right, so the Lord kept His promise to bring all Israel together, right? After the split, you know, especially during the time of Cyrus. But go ahead, brother. But now we're scattered all over the world. But how is he going to bring us all back together and deliver all of us? Let's see. Go ahead, brother.
As he say also in Hosea, I will call them my people, which were not my people.
Right, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They're God's chosen people. Go ahead.
And her beloved, which was not beloved. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living power.
There you go, man. Keep going.
Isaiah also crieth concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved.
There you go. Well, only a remnant is going to be saved, all right? But keep going.
For he will finish.
Where you at?
On 28.
Oh, go to 26 again.
All right, this is the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 26.
Right.
And it shall come to pass.
No, Romans 11 and 26.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 11,
right, 25.
In verse 25. Yeah. For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery.
Right, that's why the title of this lesson is called The Mystery of the Gentiles. It's a mystery, man. It's a stumbling block for Jake. All right, go ahead. Let them stumble. Go ahead, brother.
Least ye should be wise in your own conceit.
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 Right. People, they're wise in their own conceit, man, in their own heart. People that don't believe that they're talking about, when it's speaking about Gentiles and Paul going to the Gentiles, he was going to his people, man. All right, he's going to the Israelites. Romans 10 real quick. Because that was his desire. Hold your spot, brother. Romans 10 and 1.
This is Romans chapter 10, verse 1. It says, brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to Yahweh for Israel is that they might be saved.
Right, this was his desire, man, for Israel is that they might be saved, man. All right, Romans 9 and 1.
This is Romans chapter 9, verse 1.
Right.
I say the truth in the Mashiach, I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness.
Right, because Esau, the so-called white man, they're going into slavery. That's their future. You know, that's the truth. Go ahead, brother.
I say the truth in the Mashiach, I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Ghost Spirit that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were accursed from a Mashiach for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh.
Right, so he could wish that our brother, what? He said, according to the flesh, man. Yeah. All right, and that's what it's about, according to the flesh. See that? So Paul came for his people according to the flesh. Go to 11 real quick. Romans 11. Back to 11. Romans 11 and 1.
Okay. This is Romans chapter 11, verse 1. I say then, have Yahweh cast away his people? Yahweh forbid.
Yeah, so the Lord never cast away his people. Because you had some Israelites that knew they were Jews that were of the circumcision. And then you had some Israelites that became Greeks or Romans. All right, they were called what? They became Hellenized. All right, paganized. Or they can be living amongst the Greeks or speaking the Greek language, like the Syrophoenician woman. We may get into that as well. All right. That's like saying the people are American. You know, if you'd have read it today about today, it'd say Americans. Right. You know, and they'd be like, yo, those are Edomites. But you know, man, you got Jake out here, man. We scattered. Go ahead.
It says, for I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
There you go, man. All right, so he also was a Gentile when he was a Roman. All right, until Yahushua came and woke him up specifically. You know, and then because before that he was He was without Yahushua in the world. And that's in Ephesians chapter 2, I think it is. Yeah, can you get that ready? Oh, unless you got precept.
I'm right here by it because my precepts are Ephesians.
All right, you want to finish that real quick, my John? Let them go right there. These two precepts, 2 verses.
All right, this is back at the book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 26. Shalaki 25. For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest you should be wise in your own conceits.
Right, so don't ignore this, man. Don't ignore this mystery, man. All right? This is very important. Go ahead, brother.
That blindness in part is happened to Israel.
See that? Our people became blind, vocab. That's why they became Gentiles. All right, go ahead, brother.
Until the fullness of the Gentiles become in.
Whoa, until the fullness of the Gentiles, what's that? The rest of Israel wakes up. He said, what? He has sheep that are not of his fold, of this fold. Until that fullness is complete. So the number, what's that? What's that? 2nd Ezra chapter 2. 1 second. 2nd Ezra chapter 2. We say the number. Yeah. So that's the fullness of the Gentiles.
2nd Ezra chapter 2, verse 41. It says, the number of thy children whom thou longest for is fulfilled. Beseech.
Go up one more verse.
Verse 40. All right. 2nd Ezra chapter 2, verse 40. It says, take thy number, O Zion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white.
That's right, man. So shut up those that are clothed in white. They're going to be taken up into the chariots, right? Go ahead, brother.
Which have fulfilled the law of the Lord.
Whoa, so he said that the fullness of the Gentiles become in. Going to be fulfilled. Go ahead.
Verse 41. The number of thy children whom thou longest for is fulfilled. Beseech the power of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, that thy people which have been called from the beginning may be hallowed.
Right, he said what? He said, receive them as the beginning, as he had at the beginning.
Inherit them as
inherit. Now you said it, I just want to repeat it. He said, inherit them as before from the beginning. Inherit them again. You know what I mean? Like when just like when the Lord brought us out of Egypt. All right.
And real quick, just to add a point real quick with Bakashah, that also showed that he never did away with his people, man. You know, he always kept Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans is his beloved. And the scriptures also let us know he's not slack concerning his promise. He has to fulfill that promise that he made between Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man.
Right.
You know, and he's not going to take back his promise as man will do. You know, go ahead.
And how Paul also said, has God cast away his people? He said, God forbid. He has not cast away his people that he foreknew. So he knew Israel from the beginning. He has not known any other nation.
That's what has the definition of repentance.
Good.
But you can only the word repentance means to turn back or return to something. You can only return to something that you was a part of. All right. So they were Gentiles. They're no longer Gentiles through Yahushua. All right. Because in the Old Testament, when we keep the Passover, the strangers, which were the gar, which means Israelites that lack inherited rights. So for them to keep the Passover or find their placement where to live or what tribe to live with, they had to be circumcised and they had to go through a cleansing situation, man. All right, they would cleanse them with nitrate. All right, but now the Lord what? God, I know you're gonna you know where's that? What? Yeah. Or washing the Israel.
Ephesians, Zechariah 13:1.
That's right. So now the Lord found another way to cleanse that filth from us, man. All right, to cleanse our garments. Let me get this precept real quick. All right. So now the Lord found another way to bring Israel back together, to bring Israel back to their inheritance. All right. And you can get circumcised all you want. You can go get the tattoos removed off of you, but that still can't get you delivered, man. All right, you got to go through Yahushua.
Zechariah chapter 13, verse 1.
Right, because this is how we get clean now, man, being Gentiles.
In that day there shall be a fountain open to the house of David and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem for sin and for uncleanliness.
That's right, man. See, for sin and uncleanliness, man. Being Gentiles in the culture of this world. The uncleanliness takes you into what? Keeping the laws. All right? It makes you clean. And also it said what? For sin. That's through Yahushua. To take away our sins.
I got it. This is Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 21.
Right, so that's how you would bring a stranger into the sheepfold now, man. Through Yahushua, through the cleansing of the water, the word.
It's, Jeremiah 2 and 21. Yet I have planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. Right, how then art thou turned into a degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me?
Right, and when did he plant us? When did he plant us? He planted us during the time of Moses. All right, when he put us in that land during Joshua. All right, after Joshua. And from there, we became a degenerate plant. Throw out, brother. All right, our people became degenerate and strange. What is that to be? You got Nakayar, then you got Nakar. You got two versions of the word Nakar. All right, and one means to be a stranger or an alien. All right, he said we were aliens from the Commonwealth of Israel. They just didn't know they were Israelites. They didn't know the culture of Israelites. People think they're African. They think they're black. But our people are what? Israelites. All right, that's our culture. The Lord gave it to us when we came out of Egypt.
It says, it's verse 22. For though thou wash thee with nitrate and take thee much soap, yet thine iniquity is marked before me, saith the Lord.
There you go. So if a brother want to come back and be an Israelite and we wash them with nitrate and soda and shit, and you dunk them in the damn dirty ass tap water out here, better not be in Detroit. Damn. You know what I'm saying? No, I mean respectfully. But you dunk them in this water, they're still not going to take that mark of sin away that's still stained on their spiritual garment, all right, from the eyes of Yahweh. The only way to remove that is through Yahushua. All right, and that's keeping them from being Gentiles, thus bringing them back into the Commonwealth of Israel. Go ahead, tell y'all. We can go to it again.
This Romans 9 and 1. I say the truth in Yahushua Mashiach, I lie not. My conscience also bear me witness in the Holy Spirit.
Right, so his conscience bore witness with him at that time, just like the conscience bear witness with us today that we are the prophets of the Lord. Go ahead, brother.
That I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart, for I could wish that myself were accursed from Yahushua Mashiach for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of Yahweh and the promises.
Right, so what's that? The adoption. The adoption being what? Adopted back, man, into being children again. All right? There's no room for any other nations, man, to be his children, the apple of his eye. There's room for them slaves. Yeah, but not to be adopted back. You know, you got to be adopted. That's only to Israel, man. All right. So for them to be Gentiles and they be adopted back, we're gonna get into all of this too. Go ahead, appreciate, brother.
Going back to that olive tree, you know, you can't be grafted in the olive tree if you was not once a part of it.
Yeah, we're gonna get all of that. Yep, we're gonna get all of that. That's a great point. All right, because you can grab any form of apple into any apple tree. So that means it can look different. You can have a green apple, red apple, and you can blend them into an apple tree. All right. So Israel could look like any color, but they got to be Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans at the core. Other than that, they're going into hardcore bondage, slavery, or whatever you can think of.
All of the above.
Yeah, man. All right. And the women gonna get dominatrix out.
Hey, can we get this Ephesians real quick?
Yeah, I'm just joking, man. Go ahead. Ephesians. Let's go ahead and get it. Why not, right? There's a lot on that, John.
Okay.
It is. Let's get these precepts real quick, and then we're gonna hit the concrete. Okay. All right now. Hey, brother. All right, now I see you watching, man. That's right, man. So who got precepts real quick? Let's run these real fast.
Psalm chapter 44, starting at verse 11. Thou hast given us like sheep appointed for meat, and hast scattered us among the heathen. Thou sellest thy people for naught, and does not increase thy wealth for their price. Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and a derision to them that are round about us. Thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. So come on, man. Lord, he scattered his people around the four corners of the earth. And it was prophesied in Deuteronomy that we would become bywords and proverbs. So the Lord scattered us, and now we are reproached among the heathen.
Right, let's get that to y'all. That byword, right? That byword. That's what they call you things like nigga. They call you things like black, spook, or African, which is Scipio Africanus. You know.
This is Deuteronomy.
They call you by all these slave last names. You know, like Jackson or Washington or Williams or Smiths
or Johnson, son of John.
Jack's son of Jack. It's like, yo, man,
you bitch.
Yeah, like, yeah, man. Go ahead, brother.
You know, an individual hates you when they take everything. They take your name. They won't let you keep nothing. They take away your memory. They won't see how nothing.
Yeah, Esau the king. His last name will be Harawanson. Who does that mean? Son of Harawan. This is my boy.
That is. This is Deuteronomy 28:37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee.
Right, man. So we became that. We became an astonishment, you know, as a strange plant. You know, because first the Lord said the laws was going to be our wisdom in the sight of the nations. But then when we lost that, we became an astonishment in the sight of the nations. You know, and they called us by a byword and proverb, a mystery.
Yeah.
Who the hell are these people? Are they lost sheep or not? The black, the void.
and actually being that amongst to our people, because like who the hell are we? Like now that's the calling of the Gentiles also.
That's right.
Turning the Gentiles back because they didn't know who they were. That's why Yahweh Shai had to reach out to them, let them know that you are of this fold, even though you've been excommunicated according in Jerusalem according to the law.
Right.
They were excommunicated according to the law.
That's it. According to the law. All right. So now the Lord is bringing us back to our culture, man. Back to the Father. That's what this is all about. All right. And the way back to Him is who? Through Yahushua.
Good. And that was the only way for us to come back, because this thing, like the cleansing process that the elder was talking about, they're still going to be embedded in sin though. So that's not that washing ceremony that they do with the circumcision and all that still was not going to bring their minds back to repentance, because they would have reverted back to the old way of living, because that's what they were accustomed to.
Right, man. That's right. Right.
Those
we can get this point quick.
Imaginations in the mind, strongholds in the mind, they will still be there.
That's right.
And that's what Yahweh Shai was sent to do, tear down the strongholds in the mind of the people.
This is James 1:1.
There you go.
James, the servant of Yahweh and of the Lord, Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting.
That's basically it.
That's right, man. The 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings to you, man. All right, this to the 12 tribes that are scattered, not to Esau that's scattered, you know, not to the heathen that Israel scattered amongst. All right, somebody get that. Let's get this dealing with Cornelius real quick. Acts chapter what, 10, I think, 11. Yeah. Precept. Yeah, go ahead.
This is the last precept, just basically going in on the Gentile topic. And this is Romans 11:13. For I speak to you Gentiles, in as much as I am the apostle of the Gentiles. I magnify my office as an apostle. All right, because Paul was set up as an apostle, being sent out
to teach the Gentiles, all right, the Israelite foreigners, those who didn't know they were Israelites that were scattered amongst the other nations. In this verse 14, if by any means I may provoke to emulation them which are my flesh, right? Because Paul was an Israelite. Back to Romans 9:1, according to his flesh, all right. That's why he wished himself too was a curse, so he be crucified for his people's sake, just as Yahweh Shai.
Real quick introduction, and that's beautiful because we're about to go into the book of Acts dealing with Cornelius, which started the revelation of the mystery of the Gentiles, because it was fully revealed to Paul when Peter was sent to meet with Cornelius, and Paul was sent directly to the Gentiles. All right, so he was apostle of the Gentiles because he understood the mystery of the Gentiles.
Right. And that's why when Yahweh Shai was on the scene, at first he said, "Go not into the way of the Samaritans." Somebody get that real quick. But later on, they talked to the Samaritans.
Yeah.
Once the office of the Gentiles was established through Paul, they went back to those Samaritans and taught them. But when Yahweh Shai was on the scene, he was sent to the what? To the foundation, to the circumcision. All right. Go ahead.
This is the book of St. Matthew.
Right. He was sent to correct the circumcision and to deal with the lost sheep, which were the lost sheep. The lost sheep were not of the Sanhedrin. The lost sheep were the elect that were waiting for Yahweh Shai. They were waiting for him according to prophecy. They were believing in him like Cornelius was, believing in Yahweh, being a just man. You know, so these were the ones that were waiting for salvation, all right, to be made perfect. Go ahead, brother.
This is the book of St. Matthew.
They were called lost sheep because they didn't have their shepherd.
Chapter 10, verse 5. These 12 Yahweh Shai sent forth and command them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans, enter ye not.
Right, so that was just at that time. All right, later on, he set it up with Paul to do all of that. Okay, go ahead.
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Right, man. To our people, still.
And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Right, because a lot of them were looking for the kingdom. They were waiting for the kingdom, but they didn't have a shepherd, so the Lord called them lost. All right, they were as a sheep having no shepherd. That's what he said to them. All right, so where was that? Cornelius, let's get that real quick. Yeah.
This is Ephesians chapter 3, verse 1. For this cause I, Paul, the prisoner of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, for you Gentiles, if ye have heard of the dispensation of the grace of Yahweh, which is given me to you word.
Right, so he became a prophet of the Gentiles. Right.
How that by revelation he made known unto me the mystery, as I wrote afore in few words, whereby when ye read, ye may understand my knowledge in the mystery of Yahweh Shai.
Right, those Gentiles is not talking about heathens, man. All right, it's talking about Israelites right there. All right, Israelites foreigners or Israelites Greeks. You know what I mean?
Which in other ages was not made known unto the sons of men, as it is now revealed unto his holy apostles and prophets by the Spirit.
Right, through Yahweh Shai. All right.
That the Gentiles should be fellow heirs of the same body and partakers of his promise in Yahweh Shai HaMashiach by the gospel.
Right, man, because you know what? Because when Yahweh Shai came down here on the scene, who did he was rebuking the circumcision. All right, but the thing is, read the last part.
All right, it says, this is Ephesians chapter 3, verse 6, that the Gentiles should be fellow heirs and of the same body and partakers of his promise in Yahweh Shai HaMashiach by the gospel.
Right, man. All right, so that was my point to come back to me, but period, man. The Lord was dealing with what? Both. All right, it'll come back to me. Go ahead.
What's a little bit more on that?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
It said, verse 7, wherefore I was made minister according to the gift of the grace of Yahweh given unto me by the effectual working of his power. Unto me, who am Jesse, what was that? Lesson? Oh, less than the least. All right. Oh no, that was it. The point was up there in the.
All right. So yeah, basically, because you had the people of the circumcision, they thought they were doing it correctly, but the Lord had to show up to correct them as well. All right. But then you had people that were of Israelites that were what? Taking on Greek custom, Roman custom. All right. The Lord had to deal with them as well. I lost my point, but let's keep going, man.
All right. Yeah. This is Acts chapter 10, verse 1. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band.
Right. So they'll say the Italian band right there means he was Italian. That's not what it means. Right? And it's not a damn banjo band. It's talking about an army. All right. He was of the Italian, he was a general of the Italian army. All right, over there in Italy. But we had Israelites in Italy. All right, somebody get that in what's that? Hebrews. I think it's like the last chapter.
Just like how you have Chinese people in the American army today.
Yeah, I'm gonna get this real quick. My bad, man. Kind of thrown off the point a little bit.
Written to the Hebrews from Italy by Timothy.
Yeah, go up to Hebrews 13 and 23.
This Hebrews 13 and 23. Know ye that our brother Timothy is set at liberty, with whom, if he comes shortly, I will see you. Salute all them that have the rule over you, and all the saints. They of Italy salute you. Grace be with you all. Amen.
All right, so that was just letting you know that there were Israelites in Italy, man. All right, just like Paul, when Paul
pretending they paid them.
All right, we're back.
Let's go. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Paul played. Somebody listening? Yo. Okay. Somebody got it on it. All right. So back to the point that y'all was making, Paul played his card. When Paul was arrested, and he was telling them he was wrongfully arrested, man, because he was a Roman citizen. It wasn't, they didn't have a once the centurion knew that, you know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, before that, what happened was a guard walked past him and he spoke to him in either Latin or Greek. And he turned to him and said, "How do you speak out to me like that? Aren't you an Egyptian?" So Paul was mistaken as an Egyptian and he declared himself as a Roman citizen.
That just man, you know, the scripture just brought out in Hebrews 13, all right, with Timothy, basically going into Timothy was writing letters, right, in Italy.
And what are the 7 books after the 4 gospels? 7 books of the 7 churches of Asia Minor. So we were scattered all around through all those lands. So what are you trying to say? Because it was in Asia that the Asians can be delivered? No. It was Israelites living in that land. What does that say? Can't be delivered because they label us as Americans? No. Back to the of Israel. So the Most High set it up that way. But within that scattering, there's going to be redemption. He's going to bring his hand the second time to gather the dispersed of Judah. Oh, is the sound coming out of your phone?